good day, and welcome to the second episode of Fighting Words, a roundtable discussion organized by the Philippine Daily Inquirer and INQUIRER.net. Pag-aaralan natin ang Floyd Mayweather Pacquiao bout. And with us again today, ang pinaka-astig ng sports sections ng Philippine Daily Inquirer, INQUIRER.net. We have Juning Gracia, the news editor of the Philippine Daily Inquirer, and the leader of our team going to the US. He will have the coverage. We have Teddy Melendres, our sports editor of the Philippine Daily Inquirer. We have Fred Nashat, sports editor of Inquirer Bandera, and Francis Ochoa, assistant sports editor of Philippine Daily Inquirer and editor of Inquirer.net. And Pogi rin, tutulad ko. Now, for this episode, in particular, we will tackle on what does Mayweather need to do to win. Our first question for you guys is, what does Floyd have to bring to the table?
Well, first of all, what he brings automatically to the table is his undefeated record. It's really the biggest thing about him right now. It's the thing that he's been talking about. So we've all been saying that he has a lot more at stake in this fight kasi Pacquiao's legacy is pretty much safe if he loses. You can no longer take away the fact that he's an 8th division champion.
Mm-hmm.
Mayweather loses his undefeated record. It's basically it for his legacy. He expects going to bring a lot of motivation to the fight. He brings a lot of defensive smarts. He's a very intelligent fighter. He really wants to dictate every fight. He wants the fight according to his pace. So that's the one thing that he really brings to the table when it comes to this fight. He's one of the most skilled fighters in history, and I think no matter how much you say that he's been cherry-picking his way through his undefeated record, you cannot erase the fact that if you watch him, he's really a genius of the fight game. So for me, that's what he brings to the table.
June, what does Floyd Mayweather have to bring on the table to win, to get this win?
Yung motivation niya rito, as Francis said, is to keep his unbeaten record. Another is that it took 5 years to make this fight a reality. And basically, Floyd Mayweather has been the one dictating on when the fight is going to be on his terms. And definitely, he will get more money than Manny Pacquiao. I think there's pressure on him for him to earn every dollar that he's going to make in this fight. So, apart from trying to keep that fight record clean, kailangan justify niya that he's worth every dollar that boxing fans will pay for that fight. Pagdating sa ring, nandun yung defensive skills niya sa fighter. Yan, considered sa kanya. But very few people understand that Mayweather is a very good offensive boxer. He's an orthodox fighter who fights right-handed, but very few remember that most of his biggest punches came from his left. He knocked out a few people with his left hand. So that alone is probably worth $500,000 that he will get.
Hindi mo pwede maliitin yung
Hindi mo pwede maliitin yun. He comes to the ring with a big reputation.
You agree with that, Ted?
Yes, basically yes. Sa akin, sa look at it, siguro the best thing that Mayweather will bring to the table is his reputation, and of course his defensive style na Pacquiao wants to destroy once and for all. Wala na sigurong fighter in our generation kagaya ni Mayweather when it comes to kulang. There was one boxer na kumani ni Pacquiao retired, si Ricky Hatton. Hatton was really a magulang fighter. And I don't think Ricky Hatton will match up to Mayweather's gulang. Can match up to Mayweather's gulang. That and the fact that he's defensive fighter that will be his prime advantage against an offensive fighter like Pacquiao. He boasts that he hasn't been knocked down and knocked out in 47 fights, of course. But that's defense is one of the reasons why he hasn't been beaten all these 47 fights. And I think that is the biggest weapon that we will bring to the table during fight night.
Fred?
I think Mayweather is a control freak. I think he wanted to be in control of this fight. Take it way back 5 years ago. Pag sinabi niya ayaw niya, hindi matutuloy yung fight. Itong time na to, sinabi niya gusto niya, kaya natuloy. So, when it comes to fight night, fight day, kailangan pa rin ni Mayweather to be in control of the fight. Yun yung kanyang mentality. Na once na mawala yung control sa kanya, mahirapan siyang talunin si Manny Pacquiao. So, right from the start, siguro kailangan i-control, dominate na niya agad. Kasi pag nawala siya sa kanyang tempo, mahirapan siya manalo.
Does Mayweather have to be defensive or does he have to open up?
Against Pacquiao, I think he should leave his comfort zone. Pacquiao is a very good offensive fighter. He moves a lot, he throws a lot of punches, and I don't think Mayweather has fought any boxer in his 42nd fights na kasing daming volume ng punches na tinatapon sa kanya. It's going to be a different fight for Mayweather for once. Dahil in this fight, he will have to think from round 1 to, if it extends to round 12, round 12. Kailangan, ang defense is not just the weapon he brings to the table. Kailangan, you'll have to do a lot more punching, a lot more sneaky punches. Madami na siyang pinalo dyan sa mga sneaky punches niya. And I don't think he'll leave that in the locker room. Ano yan, dadamihin pa niya yung sneaky punches na against Pacquiao. And that's, I think, is one of the weapons na kaya niyang ibigay against Pacquiao.
Ikaw, Francis?
But I think based on his reputation, to really maximize his chances, I think he's going to play a lot of defense, and a lot of his offense will really be on counters and how he defends himself. He's just going to be finding his openings from how Manny Pacquiao fights him. So I don't think he's going to engage that much because sabi nga ni Sir Den, Pacquiao's a different animal kasi he's not the kind of fighter you want to go with, unless I think we all know that kay Marquez was really just lucky. And he was already on the way down. At the last moment he chose to engage, but then he was able to throw the counter, the perfect right counter at the right moment, and that changed everything. But we all know that he was already under pressure from Pacquiao during that time, and every time you switch a game plan and decide to engage, it's what happened to Ricky Hatton. They had a perfect fight plan against Pacquiao, and then he decided at the last moment to engage, and that's why he was knocked out. So Floyd's just too smart to do this. I think he's really gonna see where Pacquiao is gonna bring and then react to that. He's gonna be played very cautiously first few rounds before he adjusts in the later rounds.
So parang kakapat.
Kakapain. And if ever he goes on the offensive, parang off his defense, then it's going to be mostly, I presume it's going to be mostly off counter punches.
June defensive or open up for Mayweather? What should he do?
Well, I don't think this is the right time for Floyd Mayweather to be a different boxer. He has built his reputation and his record on being a very defensive fighter. Much of that defense, hindi lang yung shoulder roll niya, hindi lang yung... But much of that defense, yung gulang, yung ability niya to tie up his opponent pag siya tinatamaan na, pag on the attack yun. I think that's his best weapon again. That's his best defensive weapon against Pacquiao, to tie him up pagka-aggressive na si Pacquiao. If he changes tack right now, mananakaw siya siguro.